Every breath you make, every step you take, every word you say, every game you play, I'll be watching you. So, back in the 40s, there was a country girl had moved up to Bridgeport, Connecticut to have get a decent job. It was World War II, and she was a Rosie the Riveter working in an airplane factory. And she actually was Rosie the Riveter because she was riveting the wings on, man, I forget the plane now. It was like P-52 or something. I think they're the ones that on some of the old movies you'll see they drew like shark teeth on them. Anyway, it was a fighter plane. That's what back then P stood for pursuit. They called them pursuit aircraft. Now when you'll see, it says like F-15 or whatever, that means fighter. Little, little education for you. C, cargo. B, bomber. Um, anyway, so there she was working up there in the factories. And, you had New London, Connecticut right there, which was a big Navy base. And the guys would go on leave, and she met this young sailor. And they went out some. And then the war ended, and she stayed in Bridgeport working in a factory. For a while she worked for Remington Arms, I think making ammunition. Um, and that sailor, now released from the Navy, he got a job there. And then she went to work at another factory. And not long after, that sailor showed up again, working in the same factory. And this went on for a while. And then she decided to head home for a while back to the Pennsylvania sticks to see her family. And after a little bit, that sailor showed up at her parents' house. Only thing is, she wasn't there. They, she, the young lady, had gone to visit her aunt at the place now that it's like a 1 hour drive now, but back then it'd be a little more complicated to get to because not everybody had cars readily available, and plus there weren't as many highways and stuff, so it wasn't real far, but it wasn't like, hey, come back over, this guy's here. Um, so she couldn't get back home for a day or two. So that guy there was there with her family, and I remember one of the things I heard about him is they her parents thought that he was like some naive city boy, and at one point her mom asked him to kill a chicken for dinner, and they thought that'd be a good laugh that he wouldn't know how to do it. Now if you've ever heard of the chicken dance, you there city folk won't know what chicken dance means. You hear someone say he's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Well, I've actually seen that when I was quite young. You take an axe and you chop off a chicken's head, and then it dances around on the ground for a couple of minutes until it realizes it's dead. Anyway, but he didn't chop the head off the chicken. He took the chicken by the neck, then he swung it around his head and snapped its neck like that. So her family immediately fell in love with him. Um, and, you know, and then they called and said, hey, this guy's here. And she came back. And so time went on. They went back to Connecticut. They got married. And they had children. They had three good, healthy kids, and then one exceptional kid. You know, happy family in Bridgeport, Connecticut still. Then they moved back to Pennsylvania and lived in her old homestead for a while. By now, you know, her parents were dead. And they were living there happily for a while. The only thing that ruined it was they decided to have one more kid, and she was a bit of a, I don't know, can't think of the word, when, like a car, you'll get a lemon. She was kind of the lemon of the bunch. But anyway, yeah, but that country girl and that stalker, let's face it, that's what he was, stalker. They lived happily together for a number of years. Had some ups and downs, but they were devoted to each other, and without them, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. So that's the story of how the Muckster came to be. Got any questions? Peace out.